views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups.
Good evening, I'm Eric Hackley, and this is HackonomicsTV. I'm back after a 2-year absence from a 30-year run of producing and hosting live call-in talk shows on Fort Wayne, Indiana, public access television. The reason you haven't been seeing me or hearing from me is I was kicked out of studios and kicked off the air. I went searching for answers, and I stumbled upon the writings and video commentaries of Neely Fuller Jr. and Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. After reviewing them, I feel more enlightened about the motivations of some people. I feel the show is more diversified, because now, in addition to watching the videos on YouTube, you can read about these same people by going to frostillustrated.com, and I'm more focused on the needs and concerns of Fort Wayne Black people. Tonight's show features a community forum that we recently had at the Pontiac Branch Library. The forum was a discussion about why we as a community never discuss the Willie Lynch slave mentality, we never discuss the historic white supremacy, and we never discuss why this community has stayed so divided and conquered over the years. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you Mr. Cedric Tinker, King Musafa, and Prophet Heru. You know, what is slave mentality, and where does it rank in the hierarchy of black community issues?
Well, man, this is just my own personal opinion as far as slave mentality. Slave mentality is to me, is when you just resign to go along with the status quo. Give an example. Fort Wayne, probably to me is one, and I grew up down south, but Fort Wayne to me probably one of the most prejudicial places that I ever lived in my life. And I know it's prejudice here. A lot of other brothers know it's prejudice here, but the only thing they ever do is gonna speak on it. And then you get that answer, well, what can you do, man? It's been like that for the longest. You know, just go along to get along. That's slave mentality to me. You know, when you don't want to fight, you just want to be kicked and just keep going back like a dog. You know, and what is the rank in the hierarchy of what now?
In comparison to the other problems facing the black community, where does it rank?
I think the slave mentality ranks the highest. You know what I mean? On a scale of 1 to 10, that ranks the highest, because in order for you to change any of this other little problem or deal with other little problem, you first got to get rid of slave mentality.
And Cedric, how do you feel about that? You know, how did you first become aware of slave mentality? And go ahead. And where does it rank in your estimation?
It's up there pretty high. The way I see it is, I first came in about it throughout the court system, where the court systems ran here. You know, where some of the blacks are towards each other. You know, they got to step on each other to get to the top. You know, that's the slave mind mentality. You know, they feel that they got to impress the white man here instead of us sticking together, coming unite as one. You know, that's the only way we're going to get past, you know, the Fort Wayne getting out of that the way it's been for years. They figure, oh, we got to get along to go along. You know, it's just not working like that.
And Prophet.
Well, pretty much I feel largely like these gentlemen feel. Slave mentality is very prevalent here. It's one of the base things, you know, that's the problem with us. I was just talking to a friend about it today, about how if we knew ourselves, we would love ourselves, but we don't. We've been taught to be lazy and think negative, so we don't take the time to learn who we really are. We take somebody's opinion for what it is, and they tell us we everything but the sons and daughters of God, which is who we are. So us not knowing who we are, you know, it's easy for us to hurt each other.
But you know, but why hasn't it been addressed? I mean, we've been knowing about it for years. Why haven't we basically forthrightly just pointed out and said, hey, let's address this?
Because it's like the elephant that had been chained, you know what I'm saying, chained to the ground for 20 years. You take the chain out of the ground and the elephant still won't move. People here don't know they free. So they don't think nothing wrong with them. Like, hey, well, they kick us around, they do this and that, but they give me a check every month. I can eat. I can go to the food bank. They make it just comfortable enough for us to live, so we won't fight.
Well, Musafa, how do you feel about that? Do you see a way that it can be addressed?
Well, I'm gonna tell you something, and this is real. This is gonna be real tricky to say. I think slave mentality, one reason it's not addressed, or what is addressed or is easily addressed, is because the majority, if you want to keep a black man quiet, give him something that he normally can't have. And in my opinion, they giving them white women here. They're giving them white women. And a lot of the brothers here, quite a few of the brothers here got white women, so they won't deal with black and white issues. You know what I mean? And as long as you keep them like that, you give them the daughter that you don't care about. You know what I mean? They so happy, I got me a white woman. You know what I mean? So they not going to address issues here. You know, they're not going to tell their kids, their biracial kids, that you really black. You know what I mean? They teach the kids that, well, you biracial. You know what I mean? You Caucasian, like Tiger would say. You know what I mean? But and that undermines the blackness. You know what I mean? And a lot of the brothers, they get white women, they impregnate white women, and they're out of the picture. And a white woman can't teach a black baby to be black. You know what I mean? So therefore, a lot of those biracial kids grew up not knowing and in ignorance of their own blackness, so they not going to address it either. And that's just the way it is. Nothing is not. Prejudice is real. I mean, I talked to a brother, I'll give you an example. I talked to a brother a couple weeks ago, and the first thing this guy said to me was, I don't mess with them sisters, man. And he's just as black as me. But he said, I don't mess with them sisters. And I had to ask him, is your mother black? And I'm assuming you got black sisters. Yeah, but you don't mess with them black women. So, I mean, you don't really mess with your mother. You see your mother, your sister, and everything as being unattractive. You know what I mean? So, and so in that instance, the blacker the berry, the juice ain't sweeter than them brothers.
Cedric?
They're like white grapes.
Cedric, how would you best address it?
It could be done, but the ones that are on top got to see where the ones that are on the bottom. We go around, like the man said, we don't love each other, we don't have self-knowledge of each other. So, they're stuck in the slave mind mentality. They're not trying to unite and come together. That's the best way to, I think, see, address it.
Can I interject on one thing? One thing about it's not going to be addressed or changed with singing and marching. They give us 29 days once a year, and they done built that Martin Luther King bridge, so they want all the black folks to get together on Martin Luther King birthday and march across the bridge. So they gave us a bridge, so they shut us up. We don't want no bridge. You know what I mean? We want some human rights around here. I don't want the bridge. They can take the bridge back. You know what I mean? Give me some jobs.